Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Star Wars Ahsoka. It was called Dreams and Madness. And as the episode starts, we're on Coruscant, where Hera is facing the music for chasing after Ahsoka. And Senator Ziano is having none of Hera's assertions about everything that's been happening and is happening vis-a-vis Thrawn, Balin, etc. Fortunately, Senator Leia Organa sent 3PO to confirm that as leader of the Defense Council, she had authorized Hera's mission, which was kind of true, except after the fact. On her ship in the Purgle, Ahsoka practices her fighting with a holographic recording of Anakin overseeing her session. When the Purgle exit hyperspace, they're in a minefield, as is Ahsoka's ship once it exits the Purgle it was traveling in. After clearing the field, her ship is attacked by Thrawn's fighters. Aboard his destroyer, Thrawn is given all the info on Ahsoka, including that Anakin was her master, and he calls off the fighters as part of a strategy to better deal with Ahsoka's presence. On Peridia, while traveling with him and the Naughty, Sabine fills Ezra in on the events of Return of the Jedi and on subsequent events, but not about how she got there or about how they don't have a way home as far as she knows. Back on the destroyer, Thrawn asks the witches to find Ahsoka, who's laying low, while Hyung tries to locate Sabine by scanning, but to no avail, prompting Ahsoka to try to reach her through the Force, which she does, which seems to help the witches find Ahsoka, at which point Thrawn orders Enoch to fire in her position, causing her to head for Sabine's location, where it turns out Balin and Hati also are. Balin tells Hati to kill Ezra and Sabine as he goes off to pursue a path different from hers with the Empire. Thrawn dispatches gunships after Ahsoka. Bandits attack Sabine and Ezra on behalf of Hati. Ahsoka bails out of her ship as it's low to the ground, allowing Hyung to draw the fighters away before she confronts Balin. Ezra declines to take back his lightsaber to fight the bandits and won't even take blasters, saying that all he needs is his ability to wield the Force. He and Sabine take out the bandits, leaving only Hati, whom Sabine ends up lightsaber fighting with. Ahsoka bails on her fight with Balin and takes off in the confusion when Hyung buzzes him with gunfire. Stormtroopers surround Ezra and Sabine, but Ahsoka shows up just in time to help them as the troopers were about to fire on them. Thrawn sees all of this as a victory, though, because his cargo was almost fully offloaded while Ahsoka and everyone else was distracted. So he recalls his troopers, and Ahsoka gives Hati a chance to surrender, but she takes off. After Ahsoka greets Ezra, Huyang arrives to pick them all up. And that's where the episode ended. I'm sorry to say I didn't think very much of this episode. You know, there were some action sequences. In fact, it was pretty much all action sequences, which was fine and everything. But one episode before the end, you would think it would move the story forward significantly to set up the finale, but it didn't. We still don't know anything about what Balin is trying to accomplish, but it does seem as though he's taking his leave of his apprentice to pursue whatever it is he's pursuing, which is fine, but we don't know what it is, and I feel like we should kind of know at this point. So I didn't like that. I feel like Ezra should have been filled in on how Sabine got there and that Thrawn was about to head back to the other galaxy and all of that, because that's pretty urgent stuff that you'd think he would want to know, but she doesn't tell him. She hasn't told him. So he's going to find out right in the final episode, if at all, this season. I don't know. I don't like that either. I mean, it seems like that's something you would just tell him. It's kind of a big deal. So I don't know. I didn't get that. I thought that Anakin's presence in this episode was unnecessary. I mean, you know, it was fine, but while I didn't see his previous appearance in this series as any kind of a member berry or fan service, because I found it to be very profound and important to the story in terms of Ahsoka's overall story and his own overall story. This seemed just there for the opposite purpose, just for the sake of it, and that annoyed me. But then you could say the same thing about 3PO, who I was delighted to see, as well as, you know, the name drop of Leia again, which I was delighted with. So I don't know, I'm all over the place, I guess. But wow, man, Anthony Daniels has still got it, is all I could say, at least in terms of the voice. I don't think he's in the suit anymore. But it was good to see 3PO anyway. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say. There wasn't really anything of substance to this particular episode. It was all action sequences. The plot of the season did not advance at all, and that's disappointing. So it's kind of the first episode that I'm more thumbs down on than I am thumbs up on. The first three, I was sort of evenly split. You know, I thought they were okay. The next three I thought were really good, and each one got better than the previous one for those three. But this one was just kind of a nothing burger. The action was cool. Nice to see 3PO. That's about it. Nothing great. And kind of a letdown, seeing as we only have one episode left in the season, and you would think this would have raised the stakes or come to some kind of, you know, climax, so that the finale could be the, you know, the come down from the climax and the resolution of the season, such that it's going to be a cliffhanger. But I don't know. Just this episode didn't do it for me. I'm sad to say, because I like this show. So that's really it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, may the force be with you.